Hello everyone, I'm Ryan Craig, and welcome to the Board Game Evolution. Today in Classic Cardboard, we're going to be talking about Milton Bradley's Forbidden Bridge from 1992. This 2 to 4 player game is for ages 7 and up. Forbidden Bridge is one of 3 adventure games that Milton Bradley released around this time, where you're playing as explorers traversing treacherous terrain in search of some form of treasure. The first game in the series is Fireball Island from 1986, and the other game is It from the Pit, which was also from 1992. But today, we are going to be talking about Forbidden Bridge. So, join me at the table, and let's learn how to play this classic game. In the box, you get a bridge that connects to a climbing cliff and the idle cliff, which of course contains the idle. Down here are 8 plastic rock pieces that will interlock to create a border, and there are 4 cardboard pieces that slide down into that rock border, and there's 1 game board that will also slide down into the base of the rock border. There are 4 explorers. Each of them have a matching canoe, and the explorers fit very nicely into the canoes. There are 15 jewels, 2 plastic die, and an 8-page rulebook. After assembling the game, place 6 jewels into each hand of the idle. Then, each player will choose an explorer with its matching canoe and place it at the start-finish space. You are now ready to play the game. The object of the game is to collect 2 jewels and be the first player to reach the finish space with them. Seems easy. All you need to do is paddle your canoe down the river, then beach the canoe and continue the journey on foot. You'll have to climb the jagged cliff, cross the Forbidden Bridge, and take a jewel from the idol's hands. Then, place the jewel in your backpack, turn around, cross the bridge one more time, descend the cliff, and place a jewel into your canoe. And now you have one. You just have to do that again. Let's take a closer look at Forbidden Bridge and see how the gameplay works. To start the game, the youngest player will go first. On your turn, roll both dice at the same time. The number die will show how many spaces your explorer can move. This die is numbered 1 through 6. The other die will show a picture of either an idol, an explorer, or a jewel. We'll talk about how to resolve the action associated with each picture in a minute. When moving your explorer, you can only move in one direction, and you always need to move in the direction of a jewel. Each space will count as 1 from your numbered die roll, and there are a few different types of spaces that you will encounter in this game. There are 5 river spaces, which you can only move on if you're in a canoe. There are 6 jungle spaces, 3 on each side of the river. Most likely you'll be on a jungle space if you fell off of the bridge, or if you're trying to retrieve a jewel that fell from the bridge as well. And then there is 1 beach space, which is where explorers will get in and out of their canoes. That counts as 1. There are 3 climbing cliff spaces. Each one of these spaces can only be occupied by 1 explorer. So if your turn ends on an occupied space, just bypass that and go to the next open space. Then there are 13 bridge spaces. Each one of these spaces can hold 3 explorers, unless there's a gigantic hole in one of them, then it can only hold 2. Then there is the idle platform. This is where a player can take a jewel from either hand of the idol and place it into their explorer's backpack. Let's take a look at the picture die. There are 3 actions you can take when resolving the results of this die, and each action is shown twice. If an explorer is rolled, you have the option to move an opponent's explorer to another spot on the same bridge space it currently occupies. For example, if I were playing as yellow, I would move the green explorer to the other side of the same bridge space because there's no handrail. It's a more treacherous location and a better chance for him to fall off of the bridge if it were to start shaking. If you roll a jewel and you're not carrying one, you have the option to steal a jewel from another player's backpack. This can be done before or after moving, but you must occupy the same space as the explorer you're stealing from. This can be done while on foot or in a canoe. If an idol is rolled, before moving your explorer, press down on its head and release it. This will cause the idol to furiously shake the bridge. After the bridge shakes, it's time to assess the damage. Any explorer that fell off of the bridge during the Wrath of the Idol will remain lying down until that player's turn. They will be placed in the space that is closest to that explorer's head. So yellow fell off the bridge, their feet is in this space, but their head is in this space, so on yellow's turn, they would stand up their explorer into this space. The same goes for any explorer that fell down on the bridge. In some instances, explorers may be hanging off of the bridge, as Red is demonstrating right here. On that player's turn, it will be placed in the space from which it is hanging. So on Red's turn, they would place their explorer in this space on the bridge. There is the possibility that a jewel could fall out of your explorer's backpack when the bridge shakes. These jewels are free to pick up by any explorer with an empty backpack that enters the same space as a fallen jewel. So if a jewel fell here in this jungle space, so that's free to pick up by any explorer that can reach that space. If a jewel happens to land in a river, such as this one, it is picked up and placed into one of the idol's hands. So now that we understand the board, how to resolve the results of the die, and how to recover from the Wrath of the Idol, let's talk a little bit more about how to win the game. To clarify, you need to collect 2 jewels and return them to your canoe. When you collect your first jewel, work your way back to your canoe and place it inside of it. This jewel is safe and cannot be stolen. When you collect your second jewel, keep it in your backpack and once again, return to your canoe. Once you have both jewels, you can start moving your explorer in its canoe on the river spaces to the finish space. The first player to reach the finish space with 2 jewels wins the game. And that's how you play Forbidden Bridge. Thank you for watching, and until next time, happy gaming.